What's going on, y'all? Back to this notice of motion to renew and re-argue. Last time I told y'all about this, I was telling you about the return date and the fact that it succeed in the time that she has to make a decision because it should be at the end of December. And she said it in the video. It's uploaded in the at the hearing. You hear her say she got about 30 days. But I saw some additional stuff I wanted to point out. And this is why you gotta pay attention because these people are slick and they got a lot of game with them. You gotta really pay attention. So let's get into why he feels like it's necessary to file a motion to renew and re-argue. So he felt like the inquest that was granted, I was granted an inquest on November 26th. He felt like I shouldn't have been granted an inquest. He felt like it should have just been a bench trial. You feel what I'm saying? But the judge felt otherwise. He also feels like CPLR 2101 subdivision F some way applies to his default and when his answer was filed or what I should have did after the answer was filed. And you can hear it. You know, the inquest is uploaded. The inquest hearing was uploaded. So you could go listen, you know. Now, I already told y'all CPLR 2101 F deals with a defect in the form of papers. And you could pull it up yourself. Now, look, this is an example of a defect in this motion that he's filing. The court is not at 8811 Suffton Boulevard. It's at 8917 Suffton Boulevard. That's what he's talking about. Now, that I would have to send back within 15 days and say there's a defect, blah, blah, blah. Me saying you ain't filing answers is not a defect. So let's get into her decision. You feel what I'm saying? Now, this is her decision. Now, they handed it up to me in the courtroom on November 26th. You feel what I'm saying? So I couldn't have time to review it. The same thing they did when I was in housing court. And HPD handed up the violation summary report while I was in front of the judge, so I couldn't review it. Same thing they did. Lesson to be learned, y'all. When you're dealing with a proceeding that same day and they handing you papers and the papers dealing with that proceeding, tell them you need time to review it. You feel what I'm saying? A short recess or whatever to review it. But the thing I want to point out is, look, right here, her decision is saying the court has attempted to track the purported delivery of the answer sent via U.S. Postal Service. However, the tracking number which defendant provided is invalid according to the U.S. website. Thus, defendant failed to timely serve and file its answer in accordance with 33012 in court rules. Therefore, the order to show cause is granted and the inquest shall be held forthwith. That right there is a crazy technicality because his argument is when it went in the mail, when it got to the court, this, that, and the third, what I should have did when I got it. But if the tracking number is invalid and the judge is saying you failed to timely file and serve an answer,